So let's talk about the mechanics of acceleration a little bit here. With acceleration, you want to come up and out. Your eyes are perpendicular to the line of your body. We really like those straight lines because that means you are finishing with the glutes. And it is a gradual rise. With every stride, you have a gradual rise. It is not stay low for 30 meters and then pop up. Here's Marcellus as a freshman. Marcellus Moore, fastest guy in Illinois high school history. Just last week, he ran 6.61 in the 60 at the University of Texas. But here's Marcellus coming out. You can see the split of his hands here. There's the split. There's the rip. Big, strong pushes. He doesn't rush anything. That's the way it looks. So it's really important that we see what incorrect looks like. The number one cue used by most coaches coming out of the blocks or coming, it doesn't have to be track. You can be talking about stealing bases here with a base runner or whatever. The number one cue is to stay low. And the number one wrong cue is to stay low. Because what stay low does is you create these artificial lows where guys are bent at the waist, and we're not very strong when we're bent. Bent is bad. And this girl obviously has been told by her coach, you got to stay low. So she is staying artificially low, like she's running underneath some type of rope or something that the coach is holding, manager's holding the other end of it, and you got to come out low. Well, this is bad. We want to come up and out with good straight lines, finishing with the glutes. Now, you can find all kinds of bad pictures. This is a bad picture. We want to have a big split of our thighs, but this is too big. And if it's too big, your vector of force is going to be down into the track and not back into the track. So, yeah, you don't want to overstride coming out. This is a guy that I was remote training in California, and he's going to run 48 in the 400 early, like next week probably. But he sent me this video of his start, and he's overstriding here, and that shin angle kind of indicates that he's not going to hit back very well in this position. So what we want, this is one of my guys, is an airborne. See how he's off the ground here? He's coming out hard. He's got a big split of the thighs. 45 degrees is kind of the default, but only really strong, good athletes can come out at 45. If they're younger, weaker, they come out higher. If you try to come out 45 degrees for some freshman 14-year-old girl or something, if you come out low, even like this, they're going to have what we call a stumble reflex, where the foot is going to try to keep you from face planting. So that foot will automatically, your brain just sends a message like, hey, we're falling, step out so we don't fall down. And so that's not going to be good. But this is really what we're after right here. Now, this is what happens even if the kid's fast. And Lavelle Patterson was fast when we first met him. But this was his junior year. He'd never been to a track meet. He'd never been in the blocks. And this is how guys look when they first try to accelerate. Eyes down the track, all bent up like an accordion, overstriding on the first step. And then, if they're well coached, they look different a month later. This is pretty much textbook type stuff. He still has not run in a single track meet in his life in this picture, but yet he looks like he's very good. And he's now running at Chicago State. Kind of an interesting story. Even though he's the first guy to ever get a full ride in track before he ever ran in a track meet because of COVID and everything. But his times were, really good, and we publish all of our times and practice and all that kind of stuff. And so he was offered a full to Chicago State without ever competing in a track meet. He ended up competing as a senior, but he'd already signed. So we want to see the track. That looks a lot like this, right? So we want to see the track, eyes perpendicular to the body, and we do not want to be bent. And we don't want to stay low ever. Now, Ernie Clark is just brilliant, and I just love the stuff he puts out. He was at Ashland University, and now he's at San Jose State as a sprints coach. And if you don't know Ernie, you got to get to know him. And I lifted this from his great presentation for our TFC 2021 that we had in December. And this is a big, strong, good-looking sprinter that's coming out too low. And when you come out too low, your toe is going to stab into the ground. It is not going to hit going backwards. The vector of force is going to go into the ground, not into the ground behind you. So too low looks like this. Doing it right, coming up and out, look at the difference. He's not stabbing his toe into the ground. Now he can, what Jonas Dodu calls, whack the track. A violent whack the track behind you. His foot is now going to hit in a direction that's going to be advantageous to getting him down the track, projecting his hips down the track. The second step is really important too. This comes from the too low start, and he has both feet on the ground. Both feet on the ground is bad, but that's what happens when you come out too low. Not only is your first step bad, your second step's going to be bad as well. But when he came out higher, now look at it. Not only is his first step in a position where he can whack the track violently, now his second step is even better. Now he can hit the track underneath him and have a violent push sending him down the track. This is one of my guys. You can see the really good shapes, straight, hitting that ground behind him, hit it, gradually getting taller. And that's what it looks like. We do that every day. People say, oh, Holler just does max velocity. We're at max velocity less than 20 seconds per week. Less than 20 seconds per week. We are accelerating. Every time you get to max velocity, you got to accelerate into it. So we are doing what you just saw right there. We're doing that every time we do a fly. Every single time. Every time we do a 40, we're doing that. Every time we do a 55-meter dash, we're doing that. So, yes, we accelerate every day. Acceleration sure looks like you're pushing a car. And I would, like, this is why people think you got to lift weights like crazy and do a lot of squats to be a good accelerator, though, is I would argue that this is slow pushes. If you're pushing a car, it's going to be slow pushes. And I think that I go back to whack the track. Whack is an onomatopoeia. Like you think about like an axe whacking a tree. That's the type of violent type of hitting the track that we do. This guy here pushing a car is not whacking the track. These are long, slow pushes. But we do like his body lean here and then the straightness of his body. So there are certain things that are good about this picture. Here's Bolt, who was a fabulous starter in the first 60 meters of his 100 meters in Berlin. He ran faster than the world record in the 60 meters. So anybody that says that Bolt was a bad starter just doesn't know what in the hell they're talking about. But you look at the great shin angles here, the straight body projecting the hips, just outstanding. These are two of my runners, and you can tell they're coached by the same guy. I mean, this is the way we come out. This is what a drive phase looks like. We are gradually getting taller. We're seeing the track, and we're going to run pretty fast.